Hey, what's up? I'm Brett with Premier Guitar. I'm hanging out at Lynch Studios in California. I'm here with Jerry. Jerry, you've been working with George for how many years now?
Like 10 years.
10.
Been doing his tech work for the past 5 or 6 years. I've lost track.
So, needless to say, it's been quite some time. I'll bet it's been a really cool ride for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking at the signal chain and the setup we have. I'm looking at the Lynch box, the old Plexi, and this combo down here. Run us through the signal chain that we're going to be checking out.
Well, the signal chain originates from the guitar going into any one of a variety of overdrive pedals. And the overdrive, the way it's used is as a booster. Not so much a very clean booster, but something just to add a little bit more grit to it, to give it a tonal change when he launches into a solo. This is the Cusack Screamer. The Cusack Screamer is made by a guy named John Cusack, not to be confused with the actor.
Right.
And the Cusack Screamer is of the tube screamer type of variety. And this particular pedal, we'll change the settings here the way he uses it. Adds a little bit of push to it before it hits the input stage of the amp. And then to add a little bit more texture, so in some solos, we have the Phase 90. Normally he uses a Script Logo 74 hand-wired Phase 90, and it's going to the hospital.
I heard it broke down yesterday. I'm checking out this Mr. Scary Zoom pedal. Tell me about that a little bit.
That's a multiple effects pedal developed by Zoom and George. It has 40 presets that George wrote, and a lot of them they emulate some of George's recorded tones over the past 20 years. Some of the more staple programs that are in it are like the tones from Mr. Scary, the intro to Dream Warriors, and then there's also the other stuff that he has been using through the years, like a sequence function, and then also like a preset whammy function that he does on a lot of the solos, especially on the new record. So there's a lot of stuff you can do with it. There's 40 presets written by George, and then there's 40 user presets that can be customized by the user. So it's a pretty cool pedal, and it's made by Zoom, and it comes out third week of May.
Oh, that's cool. And when you're talking about
That's the prototype.
That's the actual prototype for the new Lynch pedal that's coming out from Zoom. Yeah, that's way cool to get a look at it. When you're talking about the new record, you're talking about the Souls of We record.
Souls of We. Sure. Yeah, and that was a laborious task, putting that record together.
Absolutely. And predominantly, most of the recordings have been done here, or?
In the more recent years, they've all been done here. And the setting in here and the tone in here is something that I don't think can be replicated in any other studio.
Yeah, that's really cool. Tell me a little bit about this Marshall up top.
That's the 68 Plexi. Every now and then I think we confuse it with 69, but I'm pretty sure it's 68.
George has been rocking this head for quite some time.
It's bone stock. I mean, there's a lot of people that speculate that it's been modded at some point, but it hasn't been. Some of the guys that have done work on this amp, basically to either do maintenance on it or even restore it, they look at it and it's like it doesn't need anything. It's just straight up bone stock amp.
And he happened to wind up on a good one. Let me ask you a question, since you've been hanging with the man for a while. What other records and what sounds or where is this thing featured?
Well, this was acquired in like 99, 2000, around that time, by a guy in Texas, Harris Polikoff. And I mean, Harris finds some of the most killer stuff, and George has been using it, and then he now owns it. And this has been the main touring machine these past few years, and then 2.5 years ago came the Lynch box, and then to capture the tone and the spirit of this Marshall, we got that in the Brahma, and when George developed that with Dave Friedman.
So the Brahma is the first module on the left, the white module, and basically that was modeled to cop the tone of this Plexi up top here.
And it's pretty damn close.
Oh, That's cool.
Yeah.
And I'm noticing you actually have some settings marked off on the Brahma right there.
I mean, the Brahma is probably the more landmark tone
Okay.
of George's playing right now. The Grail, that's my favorite out of all the Lynch modules. It's a very tight tone, and it has that tone of like the earlier Dokken records.
Okay.
You know.
When you say earlier, I mean, is it back to Tooth and Nail, or at what point?
Chains, Tooth and Nail. You can get some of the tones that were featured on Under Lock and Key. The Mr. Scary module. That's kind of like the Mesa Boogie dual rectifier, Soldano high gain head.
Okay, got it. And it's all scaried out with these super
Right.
badass skull knobs. I'm changing the settings. I guess I don't want to do that, right?
And the main focus of that module was the later recordings, like the Lynch Mob era. You know, so it's a higher gain. You know.
Sure. So like more like the Wicked Sensation tones, and then the record after that.
Which you deemed as a classic.
Yeah, I did deem it as a classic. Well, I think if you go back in time and listen to a lot of records from that era, and that one obviously came out right on the cusp of when things were kind of shifting,
Yeah.
and new bands like Soundgarden and Alice in Chains were coming in, which are really guitar heavy. So it's kind of funny when you look back at it and people say, "Oh, where did the guitar go?" But one of the things I love about Wicked Sensation when I pull it out is it doesn't have an expiration date. It sounds
Right,
fantastic.
right.
It holds up. The songs are classic, and
There's
it's
no
just
timestamp on it.
yeah, it's great rock.